So the YouTube creator, mostly known for her anti-multi-level marketing or anti-MLM content here on YouTube, Kiki Chanel, whose real name is Kylie Dennison, was in hot water recently for her criticism of a mommy blogger's choice of names for her children and a video she did on names she loved but did not use. And Kylie did this all live on her Twitch streaming channel. And so this has sparked a lot of criticism around Kylie's approach to criticizing the family vlogging world. And because of Kylie's association with the anti-MLM community, a lot has come out of this. And so before I get into more details about what exactly happened, my thoughts on the situation as a critic of the anti-MLM community, and me reacting to others' coverage or lack thereof coverage of this, I want to shout out actually quickly a YouTube commenter user. His name is Mark Ramos, and he actually gave me the idea for the title of this video, as he left the comment under Radiant Britt's video of her coverage of this story. And I want to thank him for the title idea, and I will have more on Radiant Britt's coverage later on in the video. I also want to preface the rest of this video by saying that I watched only Alliy's reaction, Alliy Scott, who is the mommy blogger that was the subject of a lot of the criticism from Kiki Chanel, and then in turn Kiki Chanel criticism. I watched her reaction video, which showed a clip of Kiki Chanel's live stream on Twitch, and then I gathered my thoughts on this whole situation, which will be the first part of this video. And then I actually watched others' coverage of this and gathered my thoughts on that, and to see if it was similar to what I thought. And that will be towards the end of the video. And I wanted to make sure I share that with you, just so you know that I'm giving my thoughts from as unfiltered as possible, or uninfluenced as possible by others' opinions. And one more thing is I want to give credit to who let me know of this subject first, but I can't remember exactly who it is. So I do remember briefly from when I was looking back, because I wasn't sure when I first heard this if I was actually going to make a video on this, but it was either BAMBI'S Rambles, the YouTube channel, or TyraNicolee, her YouTube channel. One of them briefly mentioned this either in a live stream or a video. I can't remember which one I saw first. It might have been within the same day as each other, but they didn't go into detail about what was really going on because it was still kind of a fresh situation. But then I saw Radiant Britt's video on this, which prompted me to look into it further and have me save more commentary videos to my watch later playlist. And then that's when all this unraveled. But one of you gets the credit for making me aware of this first. So with that said, let's get right into the situation. So Kiki Chanel appears to have been reacting to things while live on her Twitch channel. And someone or some people commented about the trend of mommy vloggers doing videos about names for children that they ended up not using, but they still liked. And the clip basically shows her pulling up a video, which happens to be Alliy Scott's. And basically it appears that Kiki Chanel used this as an opportunity to bash or give her thoughts and her gripes with the family vlogging, mommy blogging community in the world, which is, before we get into the clip of her doing this from Alliy's video, this whole idea of kind of criticizing the mommy blogging world and just mommy blogging and exploiting their children, some would say, online for whatever gain, whether it's be subscribers, viewers, sponsorships, recruiting into their MLM and selling products, whatever it is. That's not new to Kiki Chanel. She's been reacting to people who are moms who have been using that to recruit and to get customers. So this wasn't surprising to me, but I was curious to see when I saw this was becoming a controversy how bad it was, because most of her videos on her channel I find entertaining, although I don't always agree. But in this case, Kylie was reacting to Alliy Scott, who is a self-described motherhood and lifestyle YouTuber. And like I said before, it was a video about names she loves but won't be using. And in particular, Alliy Scott's children's names, which she has on her Instagram bio, are Hawk and Ren. And I will have my thoughts on those names after we talk more about what Kiki Chanel said. So as you can see, the title of this video from Alliy Scott, here's her channel, is "My favorite YouTuber made fun of me on live stream, Kiki Chanel Twitch." But let's listen together.
This is how you know people are so fucking like, they have the ego of the size of Mount Rushmore, because they honestly think that their kid, because it's their kid, is going to be like a movie star. So they name them something like so unique and crazy. So they're like a one of a kind. Like, your kid's just gonna grow up to be a fuckboy, loser, like, idiot, you know, whatever. Okay, this is all I'm saying. Like, your kid's not gonna be anything, just stop. I literally lose a year off my life whenever I see one of the fuckery that these people are up to. Oh my god. You're a nobody, and your kids are just gonna be literally tormented.
Now, before I share my thoughts on Kiki Chanel's comments about these baby names and whatnot and family vloggers in general, I want to give some context onto my knowledge of who Kiki Chanel is and how I'm aware of her. So about 2 years ago is when I actually found and was made aware of Kiki Chanel's YouTube channel. And she was actually the first anti-MLM content that I actually came across, which was interesting because I was actually still an Arbonne consultant at the time, which is a multi-level marketing company, and had just gone to their annual global training convention, which was actually the last one, coincidentally, that was done in person. And I believe I was actually recommended her video. Well, I was re-recommended. I think I had seen a couple of her videos before, but I didn't really know. But she really ramped up her coverage of anti-MLM when Rachel Hollis ended up speaking at the Beachbody convention of that same year. And I think I probably got recommended that too because I had been to the Arbonne convention where Rachel Hollis also spoke. And so I was interested in seeing what the difference was and see if she said the same thing at both conventions. Long story short, I was a distributor, but I wasn't one who would shy away from watching critical videos of the industry because personally I wanted to know why people were critical of the industry and kind of see if my experience within there matched up with what people were seeing from the outside, and if anything try to avoid some of the bad business practices that the anti-MLM community often points out and shines light on. And those are often things that I actually agree with what the anti-MLM community is doing in general. Probably clicked on this video because you're wondering, what part of Kiki Chanel's comments am I defending? Well, I am defending Kiki Chanel, Kylie Dennison's right to have an opinion and to share that opinion on or offline, whether I agree with it or not. And like it or not, if you put things out there, even children that of your own or others, then those are fair game topics to discuss, whether it's your relationship, your mental health, your body image, your children, your family, your relationship, whatever it is. If you put it out there online, it is fair game. And I know a lot of people agree with that rule. I also defend, though, Alliy Scott, for speaking out and sharing her thoughts on Kiki's comments and defending her choice to share baby names that she likes but didn't use, and to share her children and her family online and their names. And so I defend free speech and expression for this reason specifically, because it exposes people for who they really are, good and bad. And so if before Kiki Chanel you were a fan of, and then all of a sudden you see this and you're like, well, I didn't know she had that side to her, I think that is the benefit of free speech and free expression, is we get to decide who people are and what if we want to associate them in whatever way we choose to, based on our own personal lines that we draw as far as support versus not support. And I also support people who maybe see this and are like, you know what, I like Kiki Chanel, Kylie Dennison overall. I still want to support her, but I don't agree with her on what she did here, and I hope she apologizes or whatnot. I also defend Kiki Chanel's right to handle this how she wants, meaning not addressing it, hoping it goes away, her deleting comments, bringing this up, or any critical comments of her because of the situation, because it is her channel and her situation. And even though I support her handling it in this way, I personally do not run my channel that way and don't address things like that this way or delete comments. But also, she can do that, but she has consequences as well for doing that, which she'll have to face if people see this as, like I said, that line drawn for them where they decide not to support her anymore. That defense of mine also extends to other people, including myself, who are choosing to cover this story and giving life to it and sharing our thoughts on it, and Kylie continuing just to ignore it or let other people like myself give light to it and kind of give our own take on it and potentially spin the narrative in a way that maybe won't favor her if she had just come out and said something. But then again, I support her right to be silent. But like I said, I personally don't run my channel that way or run my social media that way in general, but to each his own. So my thoughts on Kylie's comments themselves, the actual comments about the baby names and family channels, family vlogging in general, is now I understand better why people in my life that I know don't announce baby names until the baby is already born. And we barely even go down the path of trying to guess the name in front of them, because if you happen to guess the name in front of the parents, even if they don't confirm or deny that that's the name they've chosen, and someone in the group or someone there, maybe it's you or someone else, outwardly says, I don't like that name, or I don't know about that name, then it does, I think, make the parents feel bad, or makes you look kind of dumb when the baby is born with that name and you've said you don't like it. So you're kind of just stuck, because you can say and think a name is stupid, but at the end of the day, if you aren't the parent of the child or the child, then you really have no control over that. And the parent is going to have to deal with the consequences of naming their child something that could cause problems for them in the future. And so that's their problem to deal with. And the kid at some point maybe will want to change their name. And so that's their right at some point to be able to do that. And let's be completely honest here. It is so common to get called a nickname you don't like, and that could be considered mean at some point in your life, no matter how unique or generic your name is or how common your name is. So of course it would be ideal if that didn't happen and people didn't get made fun of because of their name or their nickname. But I don't think it is realistic for that to be completely rid of and completely ended, because we only have control over what we do, say, think, and whatnot. But also, is a child or an adult making fun of someone's name a reflection on the child or the parent, or a reflection on the upbringing of the adult? Let me know what you think of that. So with all that said, what was the benefit of Kylie sharing this opinion in the way she did, other than to be mean or hurtful towards families in general? Well, the only other thing I can think of now is she could have been meaning to use this as criticism of the entire family vlogging exploitation of children argument in general. And she used kind of the criticism of baby names to generalize about how it could be correlated with the family vlogging, mommy blogging world. And at best, it backfired. And I don't know for sure, but even if your intent was to only attack family vlogging in general and to kind of protect the children, you still went about it by singling out this one family and the children, whether it was your intention to actually hurt the children or not. Making fun of their parents, naming them something, and now it's their name and it's attached to them as children, is working against you, in my opinion, in any point you were trying to make. And so my thoughts on the actual names of the children of Alliy Scott, which are Hawk and Ren, are that they're not that weird of names. I don't think, especially in 2021, now that unique names are more common, thanks to celebrities for years now naming their babies interesting names. I think that has normalized kind of unique names in society. Whether that was intentional or not, or that was some social engineering thing, we can assume or we can speculate, but there's that. But when I think of the names Hawk and Ren, I actually think they're kind of cool, because I first think of Tony Hawk, the pro skateboarder, who's a cool dude, and Ren Stevens from the Disney Channel show Even Stevens, which was the early 2000s series, if you're not aware. So if anything, I think they're kind of cool and unique in a way that's not completely out of nowhere, if that makes sense. So this example to me helps destroy the whole narrative around social justice and the purity, idolization, virtue signaling culture that we find ourselves at the peak of right now. At least we think it's the peak. And this whole idea of saving the world and ridding the world of all these bad things, which is that whole category that I would put, or the whole group that I would put the anti-MLM, anti-family vlogging stance community world into, because this shows, this example, that even if you have the best intentions, that we all have flaws and we all don't agree on everything, or maybe never will. And we all have our own timeline of becoming more perfect and improving, and that we should all be allowed to make mistakes along the way, as long as if we change, and that's kind of the stipulation for people to forgive you, then you are given the space to do that. And if people forgive you, they can. If they don't, they don't. But this is what an overall common theme I would say of my channel is kind of calling out the people who try to virtue signal and put themselves on a pedestal when in reality they're just as flawed of a human being as every other human, including myself. So this also indicates to me that in general we must have it pretty good here in America, in particular, in the world, to the point where controversy is something like this, which is one person expressing their freedom to share their opinion, leading to others defending them or sharing an alternative opinion, or saying that they don't agree with that, and that is newsworthy. So I think out of all the problems in the world, this might be one of the few or one of the ones that's not the worst thing to happen. Of course, there are implications for the children and having them exposed like this online, but then again, the parent chose to put them online. So anyways, so now we get into how this all relates to the anti-MLM community on YouTube in particular, and some of my criticisms of that community, which is that even someone like Kylie, who has thus far stayed out of the anti-MLM drama in the community that we've been seeing over the past year, and she's the one that kind of was heralded as this unproblematic anti-MLM queen. But even the most unproblematic, I'm doing air quotes if you're just listening, but even the most unproblematic person still does questionable things and has flaws and makes mistakes. And so this kind of revives my suspicions about anti-MLM being anti-women ? And contrary to how people have spun my video a few months ago exploring that idea of anti-women, anti-MLM, I do not think the entire anti-MLM movement is anti-women, and I will be revisiting that whole thing very soon, so stay tuned for that. But I don't think one of the more prominent anti-MLM creators going on Twitch live bashing a mommy vlogger for baby names helps the case against what I said. But also, this is really brought to the forefront of my mind, reviewing how I've said things in the past and how I'll say things going forward, and has actually encouraged me to want to watch videos people have actually made on me. And this situation and another one that happened involving someone that claims to be a part of the anti-MLM community are giving me those signs and indications that I should make those reaction videos of me reacting to anti-MLMers reacting to me, because I think it'll be a good conversation to start. So a few other things before we get into other people's coverage of this story was, we realized that Kiki Chanel was live streaming. And so this also might be a good lesson for all of us on what happens when you can no longer hide behind editing and filtering what you say before you put it out there, and some of the problems that come with that. Also, Alliy in her videos said she was a fan of Kylie's, so this could have also been a lesson in growing as a creator, because Kiki Chanel has over 300,000 subscribers. She is one of the most prominent, most watched anti-MLM creators. And so this could be an indication of being out of touch with knowing there are humans on the other side of the camera. And if we want the internet to be less toxic of a place, then maybe acting and treating it like an in-person interaction or situation is a better path to go down. But then again, for me, I think live streaming makes me more conscious of the humans on the other side of the screen, because there is that immediate response, and that if you're aware that you are live and like this is being broadcast to however many people, and that there's that immediate response factor. Whereas pre-filming is more of a delayed reaction. So if anything, this is a bad train of thought for Kylie, because if you're live streaming and that's supposed to be more indicative of who you are as a person, then maybe this whole situation is more accurate in describing who Kylie Dennison is, who goes by Kiki Chanel on YouTube and Twitch. But I only know Kylie online, so I cannot say for sure one way or the other, but we all get to decide what we think. So now I want to get into what I've seen others reacting to this situation. Some general comments first before I get into specific creators and what they've said. I've seen from some users in comment sections basically saying that Kiki Chanel, or someone that goes by Kiki Chanel online, should be one to talk as far as making fun of other people's names, because some could come to the conclusion that Kiki Chanel is a weird name, and so they were kind of saying that she should be the one to talk for bashing other people's names. And also I was thinking maybe this could be projection on Kylie's part, because and her using the name Kiki Chanel because her name is Kylie, which maybe she wishes she had a more unique name, or this could be evidence to support why not using your real name or being able to hide behind some level of anonymity online creates problems eventually. And so I'm also not sure if Kylie has shared any details about her thoughts on motherhood in general, or her journey towards motherhood, if she wants it or not or whatnot. But maybe this could also have something to do with that, and some overcompensating on her part, maybe something internalized that she has to deal with. But of course, that's for her to decide how much and what to share, if anything. And so maybe if you're a viewer of hers for a long time, maybe you can fill me in on if she has ever shared anything publicly in that realm that could help us kind of give more context to maybe why she is expressing these thoughts online. So let me know. But I have three creators that I want to touch on their thoughts and coverage of this. So as I was looking for other commentary channels to see what they've been saying about this, I actually came across a channel I hadn't seen before, and the channel is SincerelySharon, and I'm going to show you her video right here of what I'm going to be talking about, and it is called, here's her channel name, Kiki Chanel is just mean, making fun of kids is not okay. So in Sharon's video, she stated that she thinks regulations need to be put in place for family vlogging, and that she doesn't agree with family vlogging. And go check out her video for more of a well-rounded thoughts on this from her. But this prompted me to kind of give my thoughts on family vlogging, which is that I am not anti-family vlog, because I just think, like any other parenting decision, that parents have to deal with the consequences of what they choose to do with parenting their children. And so I don't think any one parent is perfect, and that any one way to parent is the right way, because obviously there are a lot of variables for each child and parent relationship that differ in each situation. And I know that when I become a parent, I want to be able to parent how I see best fit for my child. And I also don't want others to be forced to parent like me, because it may not be the best parenting style for that child of theirs. Sharon also said that she, as a mom, when she was expecting, also did find the baby name videos helpful to her name ideas and just coming up with some unique names. And also in Kiki's stream clips that Sharon showed, which was actually the longer clip than what Alliy reacted to in her video, was showing more in full that Kylie actually made fun of one of Sharon's kids' names in that baby name criticism video that Kiki was doing on her live stream. And so it appears that Kylie was just, I don't think she was thinking, to be honest, from what I see, that she was offending that many people. Maybe she thinks this is a common popular opinion, and it looks like in the live chat of her Twitch stream that people were egging her on, so maybe she wasn't getting enough blowback to really think that it was wrong. I don't know, but I also agree with Sharon in being mindful about what we put out as commentary channels, and try not to get too much into the negativity train of thought all the time. And I think me saying that earlier and agreeing with Sharon, and also this will come up with RadiantBritt in a few seconds when I talk about her, I think we might be at the peak of that whole mindset of just being critical and negative all the time, and might be turning the corner on more of a balanced, nuanced approach to commentary videos. Granted, I'm sure there'll be outliers and people who don't follow the trend or don't want to do that, but I think we are at a point where maybe it's time to balance things out a little bit, or maybe the channels with all positive will rise up and help balance that too. And as far as Radiant Britt's reaction video to this, let me share her video so that way you can see. So as you can see here, Britt's video is titled, there's her username. Her title is Kiki Chanel's a Mean Girl, question mark. So actually when I went back to watch Radiant Britt's video from my watch later list, or playlist I should say, I saw that she actually responded to Mark Ramos's comment, which I referenced in the very beginning of this video, which was the inspiration for the title of this video. And she commented back, ugh, that guy, with 3 eye roll emojis. So there's that. So I actually wanted to play a brief snippet of Britt's video.
Touches on something that I've discussed on my channel, and how a lot of times when you watch someone on YouTube, if this is someone that you wholeheartedly want to support and you want to feel good about subscribing to people, it might be worth looking on other platforms. Do your research. Is this person as genuine as they say? Is this really how they are on their other social media platforms? Check Instagram, check Twitter, all of these kinds of things, because what I have noticed is a lot of times on YouTube, when something like this happens, it all ties back to the YouTuber wanting to be advertiser friendly, wanting to have this really clean image, when on other platforms they are flying off the handle and doing really problematic stuff.
So when I heard that part of Radiant Britt's video, I wanted to make sure you heard it in her words, because that is something I've been criticized for in the past, is not giving hardcore proof. And with Britt saying that, I would say in Britt's case, maybe you should check other channels that people like Britt and others are commenting on as well, to make sure you like what they are saying and doing on other channels as well. But I will reserve more thoughts on that in relation to Britt for another video. But now I actually disagree with this idea behind advertiser friendliness and whatnot, and being different on Twitch than on YouTube, because maybe YouTube needs to be more advertiser friendly. And I understand that a lot of that comes from the adpocalypse ordeal from a few years ago. But I actually disagree with Britt on this in this situation with Kiki Chanel, because from my understanding, Twitch is actually a little more trigger happy when it comes to banning people, but also there's a difference on Twitch and YouTube, because from my understanding, Twitch streamers and other platforms, even people on YouTube, are trending more towards relying less on ad revenue and moving to more paid subscription model, because it is less risky. Because like Britt said, advertisers, if they don't like what's going on, they can pull their advertising. But if you have an audience that will directly pay you for whatever content you're putting out, that's a little less risky. So in this video, also, Britt did mention and bring up her calling another creator an idiot, which is something I touched on in a video where I was giving my alternate opinion to what Britt said. Although she didn't in this video mention the pink-haired monster comment, but I digress. But she did mention she apologized to that creator and things to be good with them now, and how she learned her lesson on words matter and whatnot, which goes back to what I touched on as a lesson I've learned from the Kiki Chanel situation. But if you are wondering which creator she's talking about, who she called an idiot, it is the channel BAMBI'S RAMBLES, who is someone I mentioned in the beginning part of this video when I was giving credit for bringing up the situation. Now, like I said before, this is a similar takeaway I had as well, and how we need to be careful, or it's good to be reviewing how you're saying things and what you want to say going forward. Now, one more thing that I thought Britt brought up that I thought was noteworthy, and supports my earlier comments about the idolization of people and kind of championing them or calling them queen, or like they unproblematic, or they could do no wrong, or whatever it is that Britt saying, for the most part, she agrees with Kiki Chanel in her anti-MLM videos, but felt the need to cover this situation regarding Kylie, because she has in the past shouted out Kylie's channel on her channel. And this is also where it gets a little muddied if people just look at your video title, or they don't watch your whole channel and they only see certain content. Like Britt said, also, if they're acting different on different platforms, then and you don't actually watch certain things, then you may be co-signing something that you don't want to be co-signing, which is why I personally, when I did a defending Kimberly video a few months ago, I made explicitly clear that this is not me defending everything they've ever said and done, and I hold the same thing true here with Kiki Chanel. One last creator that I saw actually pop up in or leave a comment under Britt's video, which is the one I just talked about, was Savannah Marie, who was another anti-MLM creator. And as of me filming this video, she has not, to my understanding, said anything on her channel or made a video about it. But I want to read the comment first, and then I will share more. So Savannah Marie said, quote, "As someone who has 2 kids and I've had negative comments about my kids' names, this makes me sad. She needs to apologize, but as long as she is genuine with that apology, we should forgive her. I like to give people who aren't parents the benefit of the doubt because, like, they don't always get it, you know? I personally had a different view on kids before I had my own. Not to defend her, because of course what she said was wrong and pretty gross, but to put myself in her shoes, like, I don't think she realizes how much that stuff can hurt a mother. Also, children are people too, and they should be treated as such. She could definitely learn from this. I don't think she's a lost cause or anything as long as she takes responsibility for what she said." Now, the reason I wanted to touch on that comment is because not very many people are covering this in the anti-MLM world and just in general. So I wanted to give a few just questions for you, just to see if you have any thoughts on this. But have anti-MLMers shied away from covering this in videos in general because Kiki Chanel is supposed to be, like I said, this queen of anti-MLM who's supposed to be unproblematic on YouTube? Or does drawing more attention to this prove the critics of anti-MLM, anti-family vlogging right? And does this expose maybe a double standard within communities? Let me know in the comment section wherever you are able to comment, because I know some of you and many of you watch on Rumble and comment there, or you just listen on any podcasting platform where the audio is available. But if you would like to see more from me, head to the description box below the video or the podcast, or tap or click the screen if you are watching on YouTube, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.